Let's brew. What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy, and
Owen Moon with Fixed Ops Digital, powered by Trade Pending.
That's right. I am so excited right now, Owen, to start just chopping it up with who we have on the show today. And all of you that are hanging out with us, do us a favor and share this around. We got a whole lot of great content that's ready to come out, and somebody that's really excited to jump in here and share with you. But do us a favor and share this out. Put it out there to your network, because we are very, very sure that today's Fixed Ops Friday is going to be able to give you something that's going to encourage you and help you actually challenge yourself to go to the next level. Owen, what is it that made you want to choose to have this particular guest on the show?
Yeah, I've been trying to get Chris on Fixed Ops Friday for a while. He's a very busy man. Was doing some consulting work, kind of bouncing around the country, and most recently has picked up a position with a big auto group, and so we're super excited to kind of be working with him, obviously at Fixed Ops Digital, but more importantly, he brings a bunch of experience and a lot of I think great insight to the position, and so I asked him again, hey, would you like to jump on and kind of spread some of your wisdom onto the rest of the Fixed Ops Friday community. So with that, let's get him on here. Let's bring him on.
Let's get this brew on the move, everybody. You know what we got to do? We got to welcome in the one, the only, Chris Schaubert.
Welcome to the show, brother. What's up,
Chris?
The world would probably be scared if there was two of me. So thanks for that's a good deal there. The one and only. That's the world's thankful for that. So and so am I. So we're good.
There you go. I love it. Well, welcome to Fixed Ops Friday, man. Good to finally get you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Owen's right. We've talked a lot about this over the years, and honestly, over what, the past year and a half. I was just thinking the other day, how long has it been that you've been doing Fixed Ops Friday? It's been over a year and a half, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And Chris, it's a funny story. I'll just start with this. So I knew Chris over LinkedIn, and we talked on the phone, and I don't remember where it was at, but I was randomly walking through an airport one day, and all of a sudden, guys tapped me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and there's Chris Schaubert out of the blue. So first time we met was, I don't know if it's like the Lexington airport or someplace in Kentucky.
I think it was.
Nashville. Yeah, it could have been Nashville, but
I think so.
Someplace down there. So yeah, it was good to meet you there, and obviously from there we built a friendship and a good working relationship here recently as you've moved into your current position. So
yeah, absolutely.
Tell everybody what you're doing.
Yeah, so I am the Fixed Operations Director for the Ron Marhofer Auto Family. We are located in and around Akron, Ohio. So everywhere ranging from Stowe, Ohio to North Canton. We've got 5 locations and 2 body shops, and we're just on a path to impact people and impact this industry, and we're excited about the opportunity that we've got right now and the opportunity for growth, and we're in it right now. It's pretty awesome.
Heck yeah. And that's, folks, you already feel the energy. This is why we love having these types of conversations or doing the Fixed Ops Friday action that we do, because folks, we got to get more cameras on what's happening inside of Fixed Ops. We need more people talking about the solutions that are brewing there, because those are truly the solutions that are being sought out, and incredible people like Chris are the gems that dealerships and dealership groups find inside of their company that invigorate a whole new way of doing business. And with a little bit of whistle while you work, a whole lot of encouragement, right? I haven't anything that I've ever seen of you, Chris, has been constant encouragement. That's why I'm always like, Chris, love you, brother, love him. When Owen said you were calling us, I was like, shut up, we need to have him on the show. Let's go. Because brother, it's an awesome light that you put out wherever you are. And right now you get to plant that light on a lampstand out there, doing your thing. And brother, again, you are somebody that is consistent in trying to shed good light, and we do really, really appreciate it. Inside of that, you got a few fans that are jumping in here saying, what's going on? We got Robert Migliaccio. Is that right?
That's better than I probably would have done. That is awesome. He nailed it.
And the subprime hero who's probably watching this sitting in a tree somewhere as he's going and catching him some deer. Welcome to the party, everybody. Thank you all for being here. But Chris, what is it that is bubbling where it is that you are? You're jumping into a whole new place, having some fun, discovering, figuring things out. People do this quite often inside of the professional world. They find their spot, they find a new home, and they start to cultivate culture there. What are some of the primary things that you're focusing on adjusting as you come into a new culture like that?
Yeah, so I've been here 6 months now and came off the road full time from consulting, which to be honest with you, so here's the biggest thing for me is the one thing that you find is me personally that I found was that being on the road, you got to be a part of a lot of people, right? You got to impact a lot of people. But I guess, kind of one of my personality traits is like loving to see the people grow on a consistent basis. And you get that from that connection, being into a place constantly where you can constantly have the pulse. I will say this, one of the toughest things about consulting is that you might be in a location, let's just say every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, and you kind of get a touch, but it's like sometimes there's a little bit of, I don't want to say frustration, but it's a little disheartening at times when you leave and you feel like there's not somebody there to help drive that vision that you've kind of come in to invest, right? So it gets a little bit difficult, but one of the things that I love, the reason that I was so excited to jump into this opportunity and with this group is because it's over 100 years of a family-run business. The impact. So I see just oversee 200 employees right now, just over, and having the consistent impact, being able to be around these people every day and seeing some of the investment and maybe processes that we do or things that we just continue to shift or adjust that's impacting their personal lives, their home lives, and you can see so much more is what's really, really exciting. And so, we've got some extreme talent. I will tell you, there's nothing about this job that I could sit there and say that I could do myself or it's me or I've got an amazing team. I've got an amazing team of leaders. We've got everybody from the body shop manager that's right there with me. He oversees 2 body shops to having 5 service managers, having 5 parts managers throughout the group that all have a play in impacting this whole team. And it is so exciting to see people kind of jump on board. And 6 months is like, it may seem like a long time to some. And I feel like automotive, you can kind of compare that to what, like cat or dog years, right? Like 6 months is like 20 years, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I would assume that Chris, that when you were doing the consulting on the road, you saw a lot of the same challenges probably, right? So you were able to kind of move them along and try to, give them some real good foundational things. Because as you said, you kind of, you had to leave at some point or you'd never see your family, right? So you had to leave and then you kind of had to hope that someone was going to pick up that ball and run with it. I think what I can hearing from you is maybe what you've already noticed in 6 months is some of the most satisfying parts of your job is sort of peeling back that onion a little bit and watching some of those high level core strategies or mentality that you've kind of, pushing out there, watching it come to fruition and then potentially tweaking it and kind of growing from it and seeing what you guys can do even from that next layer that you might not get at the consulting level.
100%. 100%. Because my philosophy is this, and it's harder to do in on the road consulting. That's, like I said, it's my personal opinion, but my belief is that you take care of everything and everyone else, and it all comes back to you. That's what I've based everything in my career, my life off of, and so it's so much more satisfying right now to be, like I said, part of a group that really cares about the culture. One of the things that I think is the coolest, and I'll just kind of throw this out there, but the Ron Marhofers have, you can see it kind of, it's a culture coin, and many of us carry this around daily. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah,
we can.
It talks about the core values and the world-class experience to give customers. And it's actually physically, I mean, this is a solid, hard coin. Like, this is one of the things that is so exciting about being able to be a part of a group that already had this. I didn't create this. This is, definitely Ron Marhofer, and then Chris Marhofer is the president of the company, and they are just some amazing people. And so they already had the core foundation of the culture built up, and it's exciting to be a part of something that I'm so passionate about, and then be able to take something that's already been created, right, and then continue to run with it. And people that really care about the culture and the impact of their individual people. And just seeing, some of my greatest moments in my career is seeing people come in from like a porter or, what we call CSTs here, but being able to come into positions like that, and then be able to, you watch them, get married, you watch them grow a family. And then the next thing you know, they advance to a service advisor, and then they go beyond. One of my greatest things in my career was seeing somebody that had went through previous challenges in life. And then through those previous challenges, they actually just over a year ago got promoted or actually got sought after to go take over a dealership. They moved to go become a manager of a service department states away. So you got somebody that was troubled, came on as a lot attendant. Everybody, I'm going to shout that from the rooftops. You got to hear me in this. A lot attendant. Come on. And then works their butt off, works all the way up, and then gets recruited to go be a service manager of a store states away. Like, that's the pinnacle, awesome, in my mind of impact. Now, what people don't always get is think about that, right? I invested in the person, and now they are extremely successful service manager, making, if we just want to talk about the flip side, they're making an owner of a dealership they're doing extremely financially well. Okay. So think about what happened there. We impacted the person, and now that person continues to impact the business, right? So there's two ways you could always go about it. You could either focus on the financial aspect only. You can sit there and grind labor gross and grind effective labor rate, how many hours, which we need to focus on that. But the reality is I've experienced it, I've lived it, and I've proved it, that when you focus on the person, you will get the ultimate outcome of the income generating in your business, And so I think that one of the things that, especially in dealerships, and especially in, I'll just say, fixed operations, let's focus on where I'm at. I think the focus on the person needs to be a crucial factor, because if you're playing that long game, you really got to make sure that you're maintaining the focus on the person to be able to get to that long game of the financial income that's going to come in. Why? Because you're investing in their family. Then they're loyal to you. They're bought out to you. Why? Because you brought them through some of the most crucial times in life, and you're a family.
Wow. Powerful stuff, Chris. I mean, there's no doubt that we're in the people business, right? The revenue, the business operations, all that comes after. That's a byproduct of creating great people and building up good people. And I think, I see this everywhere, both on the vendor side these days, as well as on the dealership side. I think we're having a lot of challenges in the world with people, and it's just everybody's having financial problems, everyone's having health problems. There's just a lot of things that are impacting it every day. So we need, as leaders, we need to be able to impact our people positively. And so, they think that might be one thing that you'd probably say. And I think I'd say it is that, when you go on the road, you always got to have your A game, right? Because you're walking in as the consultant, and you've always got to be, hopped up on coffee and just, hey, let's go. Lou and Fred do a great job of this, right? But it's that every day that you're there with your people internally. You might not be 100% every day hyped up, whatever, but they're leaning on you guys and on us as leaders to really, drive that excitement and the personality of the store. That can be a grind every day. So it takes a special person, and Chris, looks like you're doing a really great job of it. So,
I mean, you all hear his heart, you hear how passionate he is about it. And I can't give you a louder amen than if a business focuses on building its people, the people are going to build the business beyond what anybody could have dreamt, right? If a person, if the only dreamer in the building is an owner or just the executive dreamers, the executive staff, right, and nobody else is released to fully be them inside of the organization, then it doesn't stretch, right? It doesn't grow like a balloon. And in order to maximize any certain vehicle, every part has to be working pristine, right, perfected, right? Or it's coded, or you're cautioning it, or just replace it. Inside of that, I mean, there's so much that goes into what you all do as a culture inside of a store, but you recognizing that those people, if they build roots, if they build community, and if they feel a part of something, they're with you, and they're, especially if they're being invested into. And that's what's awesome about somebody like you coming in. Come on, Chris, go. You can interrupt me whenever you want, brother. Come on.
Right. Lou, think about it like this. So let's focus on the money aspect for a minute, right? So let's focus on how do we get income in fixed operations? The reality is production, and what gets us production and the financial end of it. That's a technician turning a wrench, right? So let's focus on the fact of when we focus on the technician themselves, when we talk about focusing on people. So now all of a sudden, Lou, have you ever had a day where maybe you're struggling a little bit and your mojo's just not there the same?
Only when I don't drink Car Guy coffee.
You just did the pose, the lean in, the whole nine. I mean, you had it. That was awesome. But here, that's the reality, right? We are all humans. So we all have at times moments where we struggle to have that same. Now, we might put on a smile, right? But we're not moving the same. Our mind's not clicking the same. So when you figure out a person, a technician, right? What's that technician going through that day? Are they turning the wrenches a little bit slower that day because they've got something personal? Do we care about that aspect, or do we just care like, hey, why aren't the wrenches turning? Why'd you only turn 6.7 hours yesterday when you had 2 lifts that are supposed to be turning 8 hours apiece? Mm-hmm. Okay, right? Or do we go out and we say, hey, listen, you're just a little bit off your game today, Jim, whatever the name may be, and say, Jim, what's going on, man? And you invest a 5-minute conversation. 5-minute conversation, and all of a sudden it tweaks their mind. Now all of a sudden, when you wanted to leave them alone and just push them to say, like, where's the hours, where's the money? Now all of a sudden, out of that, you got to come back because of the fact that that car went out. Their mind's not clicking the same. They forgot a bolt. They didn't tighten up something right. Now all of a sudden that thing's coming back. So not only did you not invest the 5 minutes of the conversation to care about that individual, to get their mindset back straight, to show your investment to them. Now all of a sudden, I didn't get a comeback. They started turning more hours, and they felt better about themselves, right? And when they went home, they were probably a little bit different of a mindset and approach when they went home to their family.
Come on.
Otherwise, I didn't invest to them. I got slower production. I got a comeback that came back 2 days later that ended up costing me $400 or $500. And now I'm just furious, right, as a service manager, because this guy's costing me money. But what did I do? I missed my part as a leader to go out there and invest in that person that would have saved me so much and made me so much more.
Yeah, sometimes just a little reset goes a long ways, right? And it can be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, it can be whatever that person, maybe that person needed to get something off their chest, but they didn't have anybody else to talk to. And Chris, you walked up to him and said something to him, and him or her, and all of a sudden, it let them just articulate it to the point where now they can get back to being, because you didn't hire them because they were a bad technician, right? I mean, you hired them because they were a good technician. They had the skills, they had the certifications. I mean, they were a valuable part of your team, but everybody still has daily things going on that obviously can be impacted. So talk to me a little before I give Lou some crap for wearing the Saints jersey when they play the Vikings this weekend. What is up with, by the way, what's up with that, Lou? You just got to jab at me a little bit or what?
Oh man. Well, I don't know. There's multiple things that are in it. For one, the most important is that my son is a huge, and he really is. He's really tall. He's like your height.
All right.
Saints fan. Okay. And he's going to have his very first NFL game he's going to get to come to in December, a month from today, with Bruce Miller. And it's going to be incredible out there in New Orleans. So I'm repping my son today, repping all veterans. And my son is serving right now inside of Okinawa, Japan in the Air Force. Shout out to you all. Shout out to everybody in the industry that has served. Anybody watching this, I tell you, I'd say it so many times to so many different service people that want to really know how to run an effective operation. Go to a military motor pool, pay attention to what it is that they do, how it is that they stay so clean, how it is that they make sure everything is done right. Go check that out. And they're out and they're happy and they're building camaraderie. But with that comes the development of people. But yeah, so that's why I'm wearing this.
I know. I was just giving you some crap
about it. But with that, let's go ahead and take a minute to just say thank you to some veterans out there.
Thank you, veterans.
5 minutes, let's load up.
Thank you for quiet mornings and family breakfasts, morning walks, and safe streets. For builders, both of cities and of homes. Thank you for realists, ordinary optimists, coffee shop companies, and boardroom companies. For freedoms, choices, beliefs. Thank you for your oath. Thank you for 2 a.m. night watches, 5 a.m. rock watches, for scrubbing, mopping, plunging, for papers, plans, and routes, for 6-hour convoys and 6-month deployments. Thank you for following orders, leading your team, and carrying your brothers back home. Thank you, veterans, for sticking to your oath, so that we all can wake up to another quiet morning tomorrow.
Thank you, veterans out there. We honor you. We appreciate you. And especially my favorite veteran right now, my son, Devin, as he serves as a tech sergeant on some F-15s. It's a pretty bad mamma jamma job. I'm so jealous of everything he's gotten to do. And for all of those that have served, again, we honor you. We appreciate you all. Again, that's why I'm repping these Saints, repping them. So, I'll be going to, I guess I'll be having to learn how to be like, yo, who that? Who that? I guess I'm going to be saying that. I'm sorry, Owen.
That's all right. Hey, you know what? They'll be coming off a loss to the Vikings, and so it'll be a good game for you guys. No, that's awesome. I knew that was the reason. I just had to lob that one up for you, Lou. So
appreciate it, brother. Thank you to all the veterans. That was for you, and to everybody that honors veterans. We highly encourage anybody inside of the fixed ops world, when you're seeking efficient people that are down for the get down, to take care of you, to take care of business, and that you can trust. Hunt out those veterans. There's some mechanics that know how to handle things in some bad places too. It's not always pretty motor pools that they keep. It's some muck and mire, and they're getting things handled and out and moving. So shout out to all those. We got so many people that support the veterans out there. Richie Bello, again, Fred's a Air Force vet. We honor all of you that do that. Everybody that's done those 22 push-up challenges, for those that commit suicide. Hey, shout out to you all that rep that and see that. There's a lot of a community that we have. Thank you to them, and I'm just honored to be a part of that camp. But with that said, this show is about Chris, not this gigantic jersey I'm wearing. Okay, but Owen, with that, we did get a little bit of a highlight over here of from my man Matt Carsnow, who was talking about no, that wasn't the comment I was looking for. Hold on. They're not with town like you ring out of them. Love that, Chris. Heck yeah. Loving what you're saying, brother. Heck yeah. But saying, why is fixed ops neglected so often when it comes to marketing? I'd love to see more funds driving traffic to fixed ops. Inside of that, so we have somebody like Chris that's going all around the country, and he's consulting and he's helping people out. And a lot of the times what you're doing in that consulting role is you're stretching somebody's mindset. You're stretching them into a place of uncomfortability or just into doing something new. This is why they hire you, right? They're paying you to tell them what to do. Now you're in a place where they're literally paying you to do what you got to do. Inside of that, Owen, the conversation that you often seeing stretched, like when somebody like Chris jumps in there and he says to, hey, Owen, man, I'm going to need some help, but they don't spend anything, or they don't have the right processes in place for that. Help me understand give me some good stuff that I can bring to my leadership about why and what it is that we're going to do. How do you start that conversation in that regard, where somebody is more inspired like Chris, and it's not necessarily coming from those that might be writing the checks? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that, because Chris, throughout some of his travels, obviously got in front of some dealers and looped us in a couple times for some conversations. And I think he would say the same thing. It's kind of always the same conversation. It's like, hey, we're so busy right now, I don't want to spend any more money on advertising, right? And I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that if you are that backed up, stop trying to push more people into that funnel. But I think that it starts at a global look, and then it has to get very, very dialed in on specific strategies, right? And what I mean by that is that, when someone says, oh, I've got all the business I can handle right now, it's like, wait, you have all the oil change business you can handle right now? Or do you have all the late ownership services, like, brakes and alignments? Or are you getting to some of your other profit centers like tires, accessories? So it's like, what does that actually mean? And I think what happens is a lot of times ad executives or consultants, they maybe hear that kind of language, like, hey, we're got all the business we can handle, and they just sort of take it at face value and they move on. I think where you can really start to, get really, granular is getting into those different specifics, right? And saying, well, if you have a lot of oil changes right now, and that's where a lot of express service and things like that, then let's not focus our efforts on that as much. Let's get into some of the other areas, because let's be honest, we make more money on some of these late ownership services that happen after warranty, customer pay, that type of thing. There's still opportunity out there. It's just a matter of trying to sit down with somebody that's already busy, already feels like they don't have enough hours in the day, and trying to make it make sense to them. And it's not an easy thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we have a lot of conversations for months with dealers before they finally call us up and say, okay, I'm ready to get going. The nice thing about our product with our Spark website service experience platform, it's strictly foundational. It's let's get the foundation right. So when we are able to turn those faucets on, when we're able to do some retention marketing with email, when we're ready to get into some social media marketing, things like that, that we have a place to bring that traffic. Because there's also the other side of it where you spend a bunch of money and on paid search or on email, whatever, and you're driving them right to a scheduler, and next thing you know, there's a 90% bounce rate. And then of course, then it didn't work, right? Well, it didn't work because the strategy wasn't there. So that's what I see a lot of. Obviously, Chris, you've had a lot of experience on the road in the trenches. When you're having those conversations, Are you noticing some of the same things? And then maybe even carry it into like, how did you sort of tackle that with your current position with Marhofer?
So absolutely. So let's focus on three different things here. One of the major things that we hear about in fixed ops and anything in sales right now is the shift to the customer experience, right? So we have to understand that the experience is not just when you come in. We would say that the experience is the full package. And to me, if you want to add to the experience, then you need to make sure that it's beginning to the end. And really, there's not an end, right? Because we want that customer that's coming back and coming back again and back. You know, we want that we want to make that investment to where people, they see our full experience like Fixed Ops Digital. And this isn't just a play because because they just got acquired by Trade Pending, or because of me being friends with Owen. This is the reality, right? It's the experience from when they engage with you on Google, and then that Google takes them to how you look. So full experience, right? I want to look professional, and I want to have that same play. So I want the words to be echoed across everything that I do. So when you go to Google, you're seeing the same professionalism drive to the Fixed Ops Digital or to my page, where it's either service specials or whatever page you set up to engage with Fixed Ops Digital. That's all part of the experience. So you have to understand that some of the investments is not the initial. We don't live in the world. We do to an extent of the clipping of the coupons, right? They're still out there. But as a whole, we look at the whole experience. So now I've taken them from the Google to the page. Now they're seeing the same professionalism, the same flow when you come into the service drive, and then when you go back out, because what am I sending? I'm sending retention items through either Xtime or whatever portal you use or software that you use to be able to re-engage with that customer and bring them back in. I want the full circle to be that experience. Okay. So I think that you need to look at it as that in service more than just, hey, they're not investing in marketing. Now, to speak to the service managers, the reason why at times you're not getting the marketing tools is because you're not taking a step back and breathing and focusing on it to present it at the right times. You know, when most service managers are presenting it, when they're in a meeting, maybe a whole meeting with the general manager, and they say, hey, we spent $20,000 on marketing last month. And the service manager goes, not a dime of that was for me. That's their investment. And they get frustrated at that. But what did they do to invest in it? You know, did they go to an Owen? Did they go to somebody else and take a step back and say, Owen, listen, I'm getting ready to go. I want to go to the general manager. I see the value. I don't know how to relay that to them. Yeah. So what's my pitch? I've got to have the investment, because if I show passion in it, why does it matter? Why is it so important to me? You know, and then I go and I gain that passion from Owen. See, this is a partnership. This isn't just Owen collecting, funds from us. This is a partnership. And a shout out to Alita, by the way. Alita is a phenomenal rep that they've got, or she takes care of our accounts. So whether she hears this or not, Owen, let her know. Huge shout out. I'll
pass that along, my friend. She's had a rough week.
Alita is awesome, by the way.
Yes.
So anyways, so so when you gain that partnership and you get it, hey, I'm going to pitch this, right? Friction, right? Iron sharpens iron, right? What are we doing? We're conversing, we're connecting, and we're collaborating. And when we do that, now I'm getting more fuel to the fire to be able to go and pitch that the right way. Now, you can either be old school, you can be hard-nosed, and you can be like, I shouldn't have to pitch it. They should just trust me. Well, listen, you can say that all day long, or we can be in today's day and age where you need to show the passion, have the pitch, and present it the right way, present it at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't go in on the second day of the month when variable or sales just sold 100 cars under their goal the month before, and the owner's sitting there going through the doc or the financials going, what happened? And then you walk in and you say, hey, I got this great idea for marketing and fixed operations, and we're gonna have to spend money. And he's gonna be like, no, nobody's gonna do that. You have to come at the right time. It's about timing and pitch and your investment and that you have to think about the full picture. Stop, service managers, listen, I've been on that side. So yeah, I was at that stage at one point, but you've got to stop just thinking it's all about you and everybody's out to get you. And all you want is 100% absorption rate. And all you want me to do is take care of all your bills. And you guys want to just go have fun up there in sales. Stop. It's not about that. Right. If for you got to show your care to the whole business, for the ownership and for leadership to really buy into you. So that's what you've got to take a step back, and you've got to have the right pitch and the right approach and everything at that point. I mean, it all matters. You got to be strategic.
Yeah.
Bro, this is powerful. This is like really, that was a lesson right there. We need to make that clip right there, Chris, searchable for whoever wants to find it. To be able to understand what they need to do, and to get people on board, because man, I know what it's like. We know what it's like sitting inside of somebody else's business, and you have the solution. It's right there. Eureka, I found it. You know what I mean? It's right there. And you have to package it well, and timing is key. Somehow or another, we forget that sales is often about saying it at the right time. You know what I mean? You got to ask for the business at the right time. You got to set it up. You know what I mean? So that you can get what you're looking for. Because what often happens is when a person does have the right idea, and yeah, they did catch somebody at the wrong time, it gets stiff-armed, and it was the solution needed. But because the person got stiff-armed, they're not going back in that direction again. And then here's this dormant opportunity that then is like a year later, leadership shows up and say, I was just at this convention, or I was just at this place, and I saw this, and I found out about this product, and then Jim's over there like, I tried to tell you about it. I said this was it. You know what I mean? And then it's like, when did you say that? Like, didn't even remember the talk, didn't know, no inclination that it ever happened in their mind. But to this person, it got stiff-armed, and now this person goes to a conference and they see the same thing I said. You know what I mean? And it takes strategy, and I wish that people would recognize that you got to ask somebody, how do I get this set up? You know what I mean? I remember when first doing marketing inside of a Nissan store and trying to stretch them in their budget and what they were doing. I was ruffling a lot of feathers going in there, but I was asking some of the people I was working with in marketing and saying, hey, help me understand what's getting past the door with your other dealers so that I can get it through. I'm trying to help you. Stop trying to sell me. Help me sell you. You know what I mean? And that is such a key that many leaders find themselves in that. How do I do it, Chris? They need to give you a shout. Give you
Let Chris go in and talk about it.
Yeah.
No, but I agree. And I think that also you have to problem solve, right? That's been one of my biggest things that I pushed to my team this year was you have to solve problems. Yes. You can't just say globally, hey, let's, and I've been in this industry a long time, so I'm going to date myself a little bit here, but broadcast television, right? Broadcast television was let's reach the masses. Now you could get a little bit specific and say, I want to reach the news and that, but you couldn't, not like cable where you could say, hey, I want to reach females at a certain stations or males at certain stations, right? That got a little more granular. I'm throwing this out for Chris because he's a big TV ad guy, big ad guy. So no, but at the end of the day, that's the problem, is that we don't, as marketing people, sometimes don't try to solve problems. You just want people to buy your product. And I think that's where it's got to change. And that's where, like, I know our team is very focused on is what problems do you have today, or what challenges are you seeing? And then can we fit our solutions into that to drive results? And I think if people take that approach to it, now it's a vendor approach, but I think, Chris, to your point, that's the same approach that you should take to your team or your owner, your general manager inside the store, right? Hey, you're sitting in all these conversations about why aren't you getting enough of this type of business, or why is our express lane dead, or whatever. And then you're not bringing them a marketing solution that solves that problem. That's why the disconnect happens a lot. And unfortunately, a lot of service managers are maybe not as seasoned on the marketing side. So sometimes they don't know what they don't know. And so they do need a little bit of help kind of getting that over the finish line. But if they communicate with like myself or people on this end saying, hey, this is my goals, this is what I want to get accomplished, I can help them set up that conversation, or better yet, invite me in. Hey, I'll come in and spend 15 minutes talking to anybody to have a conversation on how we can help, fix some of those issues that maybe you're having. So
here, listen to one other key point here with service managers. This is the biggest thing that I see. Okay. This has been my motto forever. And I can go through how I've gotten different promotions and how I've been a general manager at a dealership. And here's been my motto the whole time: just work, right? Something that's never going to go out of style is for you to just work. And here is how you tie this in to be able to talk about how I get things passed through the gate of marketing, or how I get things passed through the gate of the next latest and greatest tool. If you are just work as a service manager and you're not a desk jockey, that's what I call them, right? And you're not a desk jockey that's just sitting there trying to command the forces from the desk. Just work, just turn more wrenches, move the cars, right? And you physically just work. You work the long hours. You work with your team. You do whatever it is to be able to impact them and make their paychecks greater. Whose paycheck's going to become greater in the end? Yours is. Goes back to just focusing on the people. If you can make their job easier in any way, if you can impact. Now, let's bring this full circle. Now, I just did that, right? I've been impacting my people. My team loves me. I've been out there. I've been investing. Now, all of a sudden, when I just worked and I did it and I made it happen, I wasn't just trying to nonstop bring software, trying to bring, hey, we need this piece of equipment or we need that. I wasn't just trying to shove that to the general manager, or when I got right. Some people believe that when they get to that position or get to that role, they can just take a back seat and, oh, I've reached the pinnacle now. No, that's when you need to kick it into overdrive. And now
when the work starts,
I just work and I'm getting into the motion, right? I'm showing the production. I'm showing the fruits of my labor. Now, all of a sudden, how much easier is it to be like, hey, boss, just want to let you know, I really think it's the best move right now to go with Fix Ops Digital. Here's exactly why. So I strategized. I made the right pitch. I was just working before, and now all of a sudden, it's almost like it's not even a question. It's like, this guy has come in and killed it for us.
Whatever you need, Chris, whatever you need, my friend.
Yes, I'm going to just, what is it? What is it? Is it 800 a month, 900, 1,000? Here, just get it. What I got to do? Send me the email. I'll click it. See, that's what people don't get. It's almost like you've got guys in the background that want to get frustrated about not being able to spend money when they only want to spend money because they're throwing a last ditch effort because they haven't produced the previous 3 months. And now they're seeing the writing on the wall. They're like, oh crap, I thought I hit the pinnacle. And now I've been hitting in cruise control, haven't been hitting numbers or getting production through or anything else. And now I'm going to go now when I've been losing money every month, or I'm way off forecast, I'm going to go in and say, hey, I think that we need this product to be able to take it to the next level. And I'm sitting there thinking, Joker, I'm wondering if you're going to make it to the next level, let alone the next month. If we're just real about it, just work. When you work and when you strategize, when you impact people, all that stuff is going to come real easy. So sometimes some people on this call or that hear this need to do themselves a favor. Take a step back, take a breather, look in the mirror, and make sure it's not you.
I
love it.
I'm going to give that enough space for that to be cut perfectly.
I'm trying to breathe here now.
Sip on that, everybody. Put that in your cup and sip on it. Wow. That's awesome. Man. See, just when I didn't think I could love you anymore, Chris, you go and keep dropping bombs like that. My goodness. Owen. I mean, I got nothing left. I'm worn out. Chris has worn me out today. That doesn't happen too often, but no, I agree with all of it, Chris. I'd say this: we got a little over a minute left here. Let me just give us. If you're starting as a new fix ops director, new service manager, just give us 2 things to focus on. Maybe not in the trenches, but high level. What 2 things matter the most as you're trying to fix a department or come in and create impact as you just working, like you said?
Make it stupid simple. Dial it in. converse, right? If you want to talk about high level, we say win the people, but the reality is the people are the ones with the knowledge. Most of them have brought up things before in the past, but they feel rejected every time, and they feel like their value's been diminished. So start those conversations with people to figure your people are your greatest asset. They're going to tell you what you need to know, and then you need to simplify it. A lot of times people haven't gone through the simplification. So they basically have all these layers. So they have different people have had all these ideas for different products and different. Now all of a sudden there's so many layers that it's not simple anymore. Things are a little bit challenging. So have those conversations initially to make sure that you can make it stupid simple. Make it so simple that their job seems easy to them.
So not keep it simple stupid, but keep it stupid simple. I like it. Perfect. Good work. Good way to end.
Wow.
That's a great spin on it. But but it actually means two different things. So I totally get what you're saying. And you're right. I mean, you can't fix everything all at once, right? You can't get them to buy into your process all at once. So start small, have little mini wins, show them that you care.
Make them believe in you. Don't try to throw your experience at them. Make them buy in and believe in you.
Yeah, I love it.
You took the opportunity. You've got to earn it, guys. You got to earn it.
Awesome. And that's for you all to make sure that people believe in you, believe in them, and encourage them to do the same. And if we continue doing that, well, man, we are brewing solutions. We are raising this industry up to new levels. And with that, everybody, make sure that you do stay thankful for the opportunities that you have. Thank you for being on the show. We appreciate each and every one of you that are watching this live or on the replay or listening to it cut up a little bit later. I know these bombs that got dropped today are going to continue to have an impact like Chris has committed to make sure he brings to the industry. And with that, we are going to make sure that we drop those bombs from as far up as we can go and forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing. So Chris, help us out as we get ready to send off, and let's forgive, focus, fly on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy, and this is
Owen Moon, Fix Stops Digital, powered by Trade Pending.
Let's go. And we have had the honor of being able to interview and just brew some solutions right here with the one, the only, Chris Schaubert.
Hey, thank you guys so much. It's been an honor.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Everybody. See you later. We're out.